Have you ever felt like you're constantly walking on eggshells around someone? A simple question, yet it carries profound implications. Today, we're delving into the covert world of toxic relationships and narcissistic abuse, an unsaid epidemic that affects countless lives around the globe. This is not just about the occasional argument or misunderstanding. It's about a continuous cycle of manipulation and control, the kind that leaves deep emotional scars and can shatter one's self-esteem. In our society, we often focus on physical harms, visible injuries. But what about the wounds we can't see? The ones inflicted not by fists, but by words, by disdain, by neglect. These are the injuries that often go unnoticed, unspoken, and untreated. The prevalence of narcissistic abuse is alarming, yet it often remains shrouded in silence. But silence only perpetuates the cycle. It's time to break the silence and discuss the unsaid epidemic of narcissistic abuse. What does narcissistic abuse look like? This question might linger in many minds, and the answer is often obscured by the very nature of this form of abuse. It's subtle, it's insidious, and it often leaves no physical scars. However, the psychological and emotional impact can be profound. Narcissistic abuse is characterized by a distinctive set of signs and symptoms, many of which can be easily overlooked or misconstrued. It's like a slow poison that seeps into your life, gradually eroding your sense of self-worth and autonomy. One of the most common tactics employed by narcissists is gaslighting, a form of psychological manipulation aimed at making the victim question their own reality. It's a cruel mind game where the abuser denies or twists the truth, leading the victim to doubt their own perceptions and memories. Imagine being constantly told that your feelings are invalid, or that events you clearly remember never happened. Another manifestation of narcissistic abuse is emotional neglect. Narcissists are often incapable of empathizing with others, leaving their partners feeling unheard and emotionally starved. They are masters of the silent treatment, using it as a tool to control and punish. Then, there's the endless cycle of idealization and devaluation. One moment, you're on a pedestal. The next, you're discarded like an unwanted toy. This roller coaster ride leaves victims in a constant state of confusion and self-doubt. While these signs may seem alarming, they are often masked by the abuser's charm and charisma. Narcissists are skilled at playing the victim, shifting the blame, and portraying themselves as misunderstood souls. Incorporating expert opinions on the subject, Dr. Ramani Durvasula, a renowned psychologist specializing in narcissistic abuse, elucidates, narcissists are not bad people, they are wounded people. But that doesn't mean you need to stay and nurse their wounds at the expense of your own well-being. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards breaking free. It's a journey of reclaiming your self-esteem and autonomy, a journey of healing. And remember, it's not your fault, you're not alone. And most importantly, there's help available. How does narcissistic abuse affect the victim? This question takes us into the heart of the matter. Where invisible wounds often go unnoticed, the effects of narcissistic abuse often ripple beneath the surface, unseen, but deeply felt. Imagine being trapped in a whirlpool where your self-esteem is constantly being eroded. The narcissist, like the relentless current, chips away at your self-worth, leaving you questioning your own value. This is the harsh reality for many victims, a reality where their confidence is undermined, leaving them feeling diminished and insignificant. Anxiety is another invisible wound inflicted by narcissistic abuse. Victims often live in a state of constant alert, always anticipating the next wave of criticism or emotional manipulation. This heightened state of stress can lead to sleep disturbances, difficulty concentrating, and a host of physical health issues. Depression, too, is a frequent companion of those who have endured narcissistic abuse. The relentless negativity, the emotional roller coaster, and the feelings of worthlessness can seed clouds of despair that cast long shadows over the victim's life. But let's hear from the experts. Mental health professionals often describe the long-term effects of narcissistic abuse as complex and deeply rooted. The emotional trauma can lead to chronic conditions like complex post-traumatic stress disorder, a condition characterized by flashbacks, nightmares, and a pervasive sense of fear. It's important to remember that these wounds, while invisible, are just as real and damaging as physical injuries. They are the scars of battles fought in the shadows, testimonies of resilience and survival. The psychological toll of narcissistic abuse is profound, but it's not always immediately apparent. It's a slow, insidious process that chips away at the victim's mental health, leaving them feeling lost, alone, and misunderstood. The wounds might be invisible, but they are real, and they hurt. This is a call to acknowledge the unseen pain of those suffering from narcissistic abuse. It's a plea for understanding, for empathy, and for support. It's a reminder that healing begins with recognition and that no one should have to bear the burden of invisible wounds alone. What does it feel like to live with a narcissist? It's like a dangerous dance where one partner leads with an iron grip, while the other is forced to follow, stumbling, tripping, and trying to keep up. It's a dance where the music is loud and the lights are blinding and you can't see the exit signs. Imagine being in a relationship where your feelings, thoughts, and experiences are constantly invalidated. A world where you're never right and where you're always to blame. You're caught in a whirlwind of confusion, doubt, and guilt. The person you thought loved you seems to take pleasure in tearing you down. One survivor shared, "It was a constant state of anxiety, never knowing what would set him off. I felt like I was walking on eggshells, always trying to be perfect, but it was never enough." Another revealed, "They made me feel like I was crazy. They twisted my words and denied things that clearly happened. They called it gaslighting. It was like living in an alternate reality." Yet another voice from the shadows admitted, "I felt trapped, like I was drowning. I lost sight of who I was. I felt worthless and unlovable." These narratives might sound extreme, but they're all too common. The narcissist's manipulation is so subtle, so insidious, that you may not even realize what's happening until you're in too deep. It's a gradual process of chipping away at your self-esteem, your sense of self, and your very identity. One survivor explained, "I didn't even recognize myself anymore. I was a shell of the person I used to be. I felt isolated and alone. It took me a long time to realize that it wasn't me, it was them." Yet, amidst the darkness, there's a powerful resilience that emerges. These survivors, these voices from the shadows, are a testament to the strength of the human spirit. They've endured the unimaginable and emerged stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. "I'm not a victim," one survivor asserted. "I'm a survivor. I've taken back my power and my life. It wasn't easy, but I'm stronger for it." Another confided, "It was a journey, a hard one. But I learned to love myself again and to trust my instincts. I learned that I am enough." These stories are not just tales of survival, but also of triumph. They are reminders that it is possible to break free from the clutches of narcissistic abuse, to heal, and to reclaim your life. These voices from the shadows are a stark reminder of the reality many face. They are the echoes of pain, resilience, and ultimately, hope. They remind us that, while the journey may be fraught with challenges, the destination is worth it, for it leads to healing, to freedom, and to a life that's no longer lived in the shadows. So, how does one heal from narcissistic abuse? A question that resonates deeply with many, and one that we're about to delve into. Recovery from narcissistic abuse, much like any journey, begins with a single step. That step is recognition. Acknowledging the situation for what it is the first stride on the long road to recovery. It's the moment of realization that the relationship you're in is not healthy, not beneficial, and indeed, toxic. After recognition comes acceptance. This is often the most challenging part. Accepting that you've been a victim of narcissistic abuse can be a bitter pill to swallow. But remember, acceptance is not about blaming yourself. It's about understanding that you've been mistreated, and it's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to grieve the relationship you thought you had. Now let's talk about setting boundaries. It's crucial to set firm boundaries to protect yourself from further harm. This could mean cutting off contact with the narcissist or limiting interactions to only what's absolutely necessary. It's about reclaiming your space, your time, and most importantly, your peace of mind. And then we have therapy. Seeking professional help can be a game changer in the healing process. Therapists trained in dealing with narcissistic abuse can provide tools and strategies to cope, help you navigate your feelings, and guide you towards healing. Therapy is a safe space where you can untangle the web of emotions and confusion that narcissistic abuse often leaves in its wake. Next in line is self-care. Taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally is paramount during recovery. Engage in activities that you love, that make you feel good about yourself. Eat well, sleep well, and exercise. Surround yourself with positive influences, with people who love and support you. Remember, self-care is not selfish, it's necessary. Lastly, but by no means least, is patience. Healing takes time. There will be good days and bad days, highs and lows. But it's important to remember that it's okay to not be okay sometimes. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to heal at your own pace. Recovering from narcissistic abuse is not a linear process. It's a journey with twists and turns, peaks and troughs. But every step you take, every boundary you set, every therapy session you attend, every act of self-care you perform takes you one step closer to healing. And in this journey, please remember, you are not alone. There are support groups, therapists, friends, and family who are there for you, ready to lend a listening ear, a comforting word, a helping hand. Healing is a journey, but every step forward counts. And with each step, you're not just moving away from the hurt and pain, but also moving towards a future of self-love, self-respect, and inner peace. Keep walking, keep healing. You're stronger than you think. How can you break free from a narcissistic relationship? The first step is acknowledging the reality of the situation. It's not easy to admit that you're in a toxic relationship, but it's a crucial step towards liberation. We often shield ourselves from harsh truths, but in this case, the truth truly sets you free. Safety, both emotional and physical, is paramount when breaking free from a toxic relationship. If you fear for your safety, seeking help from local authorities or a trusted adult is a must. Remember, it's not a sign of weakness to ask for help. It's an act of courage and self-preservation. Creating a support system can be a lifesaver. Surround yourself with people who understand and validate your feelings. Friends, family, or support groups can provide a safe space where you can share your experiences, fears, and triumphs without judgment. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Legal considerations can be a complex piece of the puzzle. If you're married to the narcissist or share children with them, it's crucial to seek legal advice. Knowledge is power, and understanding your rights and legal options can make a world of difference. Self-care is more than a buzzword. It's your lifeline. It's not selfish to put your needs first. Eating well, sleeping enough, and engaging in activities that bring you joy can help you regain your strength and resilience. Remember that healing takes time. You might experience a roller coaster of emotions, and that's okay. It's a part of the process. Be patient with yourself. Lastly, consider seeking professional help. Therapists and counselors who specialize in narcissistic abuse can guide you through the healing process, helping you regain your self-esteem and rebuild your life. Breaking free might be tough, but remember, you are stronger than you think. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're reclaiming your life, your happiness, and your freedom. And that, dear friend, is a victory worth celebrating. You are not alone in this. In the vast expanse of this world, it's easy to feel like a tiny speck lost in a sea of stars. But remember, each speck of stardust is unique, and each story told is a tapestry woven into the grand design of life's rich pageant. It's okay to feel vulnerable, to feel hurt, and to ask for help. The journey through life is not meant to be traveled in isolation. No one is an island, and we all need a hand to hold and a shoulder to lean on. If you're going through the confusion of a toxic relationship, if you're healing from the scars left by narcissistic abuse, remember, it's okay to reach out. In the shadows of the silent epidemic, there is a chorus of voices, a symphony of shared experiences. Each voice matters, each story matters, and your story matters. Your experiences, your struggles, your victories, and your healing, they all matter. The road to recovery is not a solitary path. It's a journey shared by many. There are countless resources out there, professionals dedicated to helping you navigate the complex of healing, and support networks filled with individuals who have walked the same path. Your voice can be the light that guides others out of the dark. By sharing your experiences, you not only aid your own healing, but potentially light the way for someone else. Your story could be the ray of hope that pierces through someone's stormy sky. And so, we encourage you to share your experiences.
and to seek help if you need it. There are many resources available, from professional therapists to support networks and communities. Reach out, for the world is filled with hands willing to hold you through your journey. Your story matters, and your healing matters. Reach out, seek help, and remember, there's a community here that cares. If you found this video valuable, hit that like button, subscribe for more empowering content, and ring the bell to stay updated on our healing journey. As always, see you in our next video. Take care.